So we've had a bit of a wild ride in Duel Links this week, right? Of course, we had the brand new world update announced for DM World, getting darts and no anime characters, a new rework, winning a crystal currency, and that all seemed hype, but a bit disappointing. Then, like 2 days later, of course, was the announcement of the crystal currency, and that kind of has some negative connotations. We'll see how that all turns out, but today is all positive, except for maybe the box, but aside from that, it is a big, massive free-to-play friendly update for Duel Links. This is so good. So first of all, of course, is our Champion Celebration campaign. We get an icon, we get some sleeves, some tickets, and every day we're getting a bunch of box chips and chronicle chips. I believe that's going to be for the whole 20 days of the event, and so that is a whole bunch of free old box cards and upgrades to rarities for cards that you want, which is pretty cool. And also, if you've played 5 duels during the event, you're going to be getting some pack tickets for the brand new box, and even a playmat, which, you know, free is free, so I'm not gonna complain about that. The real big thing is going to be the brand new friend invite campaign. This campaign is bonkers, right? I've already done it, so if you want to go and share codes down below in the comments, go and use them, right? This is crazy. So before, of course, we had the Blue Eyes campaign, and that was a free Blue Eyes structure deck, and it was mainly some free-to-play cards, right? There was, of course, some box cards in there, but overall, it was just a good start for new players. If you invite a player, and they become a friend, both of you will be getting a Hero Star deck for Speed Duel, a Galaxy deck for Rush Duel, start processing up to 500 gems, and then if that invited friend reaches stage 7, you're getting a Striker Structure deck. Now, that's the one bad thing about the campaign, is that only you, the person who invited them, gets the Striker deck. Ideally, the new player would as well, but the idea obviously is they come to Duel Links, they see, oh look, Duel Links is fun, they invite another friend, and another friend, and another friend. It kind of goes down the chain, and eventually, they're all going to get Structure decks aside from the last one, which is a little bit disappointing. And then of course some tickets, but those aren't really that great. The hero deck is fine. It does mean Heroes Now is way more free to play, right? Of course you've got the Dragonic Contact Structure deck, right? The skill. These cards work with that. You're getting 2 Equal, which released in December last year, for free. That's amazing. The rest of them are of course old cards, right? Miracle Contact, Neos Fusion was previously a structure deck card, now of course available entirely free to play. That's big. Stratos is one of the best cards deck has, of course, and again, Liquid Soldier. Extract-wise, like you use Brave Neos, and this one, I believe, sometimes Escuridao as a super poly target. And of course, it's designed to go with the brand new hero cards in the new mini-box, which we'll talk about in a minute. Then we've got the Rush one, because the moment, like Galaxy, is the tier 1 best deck, by far. And so, it also kind of could mean they're not going to hit it, at least in some drastic way, when people really want that. Because why would you say, oh, hey new players, here's a brand new deck for you, but it's also really good and so we're going to nerf it, and so, like, that just kind of gives mixed messaging, I think. But they could, of course, you know, hit within these limits and the deck still be good. Hopefully that's the case, where we don't want to kill deck completely, but of course for new players, this is great. Now, in terms of upgrades, what do you want? Well, at the moment, you want 2 more of the Plora, 1 more Oblivion, 2 Secret Orders, and then 1 copy of the Eternal. And so that at the moment, it's going to be 2 runs of the Go Rush mini box, plus whatever one this was in. Now, I would say to hold off, potentially, because we know from leaks, right, we're missing a skill for Luke and for Handed Lady that also works with Secret Order. And so, it could mean late September we get a deckable box that makes this card more available. So you might want to go down that route rather than going to the old Go Rush box, which between the structure deck we got for Worlds, recent boxes, right, they seem to be reprinting a lot of the cards in those 2 boxes. And so, the value of them over time going to lessen, and this deck technically does lessen them quite a bit. So we'll see how things will work out. And also the interesting thing is that this deck, right, like Galaxy, you assume to be getting a proper structure deck next year for Worlds. This is kind of that, just way earlier. Now, if you have no interest in Rush Duel, that's fine. This will be good enough to clear a bunch of PvE content. Straight up, even going into ranked duels and playing a bunch, right? With a couple of adjustments, right, this card is a free card, trade a card, multiple copies. You can get to King Games probably with this. It might struggle a bit, but like Galaxy is still a really good deck that can win games solely off the fact you have Oblivion. And finally, probably the biggest one, again, is the weirder one because only you get it and not the friend does. It is the Sky Striker deck. This is really big, right, because now it means that one of the most expensive decks in Speed Duel is now way cheaper. It's not perfect, right, but it's still a brilliant start. You know, you've got your Ray, you've got your Rose, you've got 2 Engage, 2 Shizuku. And so what do you need? Well, you want the bundle for Kagari, you want the bundle for Widow Anchors, right? And then you want 1 more Engage mini box or a Dream Ticket, and then Linkage from the latest main box. Now, the one downside, of course, is that you can't choose the box you go into with the bundles, right? This would have been such a perfect time to bring that in, right? You know, to say to new players, hey look, here's a deck, now for the bundles, right, go and pick up the Millennium Duel box and dive into that. That would have been the best case possible, but no, it's kind of sullied a bit by the fact that you have got to waste those bundles on a bad box. And so, again, if you're a new player, I think you wait and hold out for that big box coming end of September for the big update. You never know what's inside, maybe Sword Soul, maybe more Blue Eye stuff, which will be way better than Hero and Generator and whatever's in this current one. So overall, I've gushed about it, very, very positive. Let's go and claim these, right? Claim all of these. These are going to our gift box, that's perfectly fine. You can do a PvP duels in a bit, and we're going to go to our box. And can you get prismatics from this? Because if you can, I would like a prismatic. Doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, that would be really busty if you can do, because obviously you can't do structure decks, right? So I thought maybe there was a chance you could in these, but no, these are all generic, and of course, again, for the hero deck, all going to be generic, but new cards to me, and way more generous I think people were expecting when we first heard news of the campaign changing. But now, of course, is the brand new box, Wing of Genesis. This feels like a bit of a bait box. Now, what you're getting is the entirety, I believe, of mutants, and so they're only going to be as good as they are now. If the skill isn't good enough now, they won't ever be. Which, you know, hopefully they are a fine investment, hopefully. You've also got most of the generators, right? Some of them are available in rank drops. I believe 2 cards missing. One of their best trap cards missing, which is to be expected. The box overall just feels like a bit of a bait box pre the brand new update. And so, I personally am not touching this one. You know, it's cool we finally got Entis available outside selection box. That's good. This has a skill that makes it pot agreed, but the card itself isn't that great. This card's a cool little hand trap, right, in a way. If your opponent summons a monster from their extra deck, you summon this out, and then you can negate it. And this card can't be negated, which is really, really solid. So this may see a place, I don't know. Of course, we have Palm Dragon to go with the brand new skill as well. We'll now see Chaz's Arm Dragons able to be played outside of Cringe Heroes, which is a good thing, but is the deck going to be really good? And of course, more hero support, given the Infernal Rage, which you really want to search the trap card, right? And then go for the big Shining Flare Wingman Neos fusion they've got in Neos Junior Master. Of course, in Duel Links, we haven't got both those cards, and so it's a bit more limited, but I believe the deck can hand rip and also get access to the Kribo. I think I heard that from a stream of Looms when I was watching and just tuning in for a bit, so could be a cool new option, but I don't think it's going to be changing heroes overall to make them super top tier. And Wake Up is fine for a super poly target, but it's not that amazing. I think in Master, right, you can go for like an entire board clear and then summon into this, just swing it a bunch of times and kill with this card alone, but in Duel Links, I don't think it's as good. And that's my quick fire review of the box. You know, this one is a box I just don't really care too much about. You know, it exists, cool. It is pre-Casey card box for the sake of one there being one. Really, everyone should be waiting for the big update, right, and just seeing what happens there, right? Or at least wait for the co-op update, right, to see skills and see how things might go, and then decide. And of course, we have got crystals coming in 8 days' time, and so there might be a feeling of needing to go into this box, just in case crystals do end up sucking. That might be a thing people are feeling. I don't know. But overall, today was a very, very good day for Duel Links. Just straight up, of course, new speed content, even if not good, is 2 almost complete or fully complete decks now in Duel Links, and both have a very passionate fan base, and so that's a good thing to find out in the game. The big campaign start today, mainly being the new player one, is incredible. Konami, do not ruin this good streak with crystals next week. Please don't. Please go from banging this update to bang a crystal update to bang a new world update. That'd be great.